Hey Booktube, happy Sunday and welcome back to another Lazy Sunday weekly reading update. I have not had a good reading week at all. Oh my god. Some book related life updates before I get into what I've been reading. After 2.5 months of living in this house, I have finally finished painting my room at long last, which means today I get to bring in my bookshelves and I can finally unpack my books. I'm so excited. Oh my god, I haven't seen my books in 3 months, which means it'll have my bookshelf organization video coming up on Tuesday, and I'm so excited. I think it'll be fun to film. It might be kind of a pain in the ass, but whatever. It'll be a good time. I'll probably just do a time lapse kind of thing. I would like to do a full bookshelf tour, those hour-long monstrosities that people do all the time. I think they're really fun, but my Wi-Fi is shit. My normal 12-minute videos, those take about 6 hours to upload, so I don't even want to know what would happen with an hour long or even a half-hour long thing. So while I would like to do a bookshelf tour, I don't think that's really feasible. I might do one once the library opens up again, because they have way better Wi-Fi there, so if I can just film it here and then upload it at the library, that might be better. I have no idea, so might do that, might not, we'll see, but I will for sure have a time-lapse organization video coming up on Tuesday, and I can't wait. I've also started a little booktube journal type thing. I've been wanting to do journaling for a while, and I have these stencils that I bought 2 years ago, and I never used them. So I just made myself a little journal where I'm gonna keep track of I have my May thing, and then I'm just keeping track of how many pages I read per day, and then the bulk of this journal will be for planning videos. So I have one here that I'm planning on doing soon, just videos where I'm recommending a bunch of books from a specific genre, and so I'm just gonna use this to organize the books that I want to talk about, that kind of thing. So I've been using the notes on my phone to do that since I joined Booktube, whenever that was, 2 months ago. And it gets really unorganized. I have to scroll through and find stuff, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass. So I wanted to use an actual paper thing. Thought that might be easier. And then I was also, if you follow me on Bookstagram, you would have seen that I was working on a bookish cross stitch project, which I have finished. I made myself a little bookmark. And I filmed the whole thing. I have a time lapse of the whole 20-hour process, so I'll probably upload that at some point as well. I got this pattern from I think they're called Stone Dragon Workshop on Etsy, which I don't think they're active anymore, but regardless, I'll put the link down below. I'm very proud of it, and I'll put that video up. I was gonna do Thursday, but then because I'm doing my bookshelf organization video, I don't want to have two time-lapse videos in a row. That would be kind of boring, so I might put that video up next week instead. That's all of the bookish life updates, and now I'll actually talk about the books that I've read this week, or not read this week rather, because yikes, it has not been a good week for reading. So this week I've only actually finished one book which is just terrible. But the book that I finished was Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare. I loved this book. It was so good. I've probably talked about on my channel a few times now that I've kind of fallen out of love with Cassandra Clare's writing and the Shadowhunter world and everything, but I keep reading her books because I'm determined to read everything in this goddamn world, because I've dedicated so much of my time to the series that I don't want to give it up. So I am going to keep reading them, even though I kind of hate them now. So that's one reason why I keep reading them, but I also keep reading them because I keep waiting for a book to make me fall in love with this world again, and this one kind of did that. It actually, I actually really liked it. I cried multiple times reading this book. I gave it 4 stars. This is also my first time using Copile, that rating system that's been going around, which I think actually G from Book Roast made that. Didn't know that. I've just seen a few different booktubers using it, but I used that because I had no idea how to rate this. I put it into Copile and it ended up being a 4 star. So look at that. I haven't rated a Cassie book 4 stars in a long time, I don't think. I think the reason that I loved this so much compared to other ones is that it focused on different characters for once. You know, it wasn't just like the same like 4 families. There was Simon, there was George, who's a Lovelace. There were a whole bunch of like mundane, so they weren't part of any Shadowhunter family. And like it was just really nice and like refreshing to not just be reading about the same freaking families over and over again for like almost a decade. I read the first book in like I think 2012, about around there. So like for the last 8 years I've been reading about the same people, and I'm like sick of it. So it was nice to have a book that had different characters in it. I would definitely read more from Simon's perspective. I loved that. I'm actually really excited to read Chain of Gold now, which I wasn't before. I was like really dreading it, but now I'm kind of low-key wanting to pick it up right now. I might pick it up today. I don't really know. We'll see. But anyways, loved this one. I started reading Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon last week, I think. I have made like 0 progress on that. Like I literally haven't picked it up in a week. I'm just so like intimidated by it because it's gigantic, and like people either love it or they hate it because they think it's boring. I don't know where I'm gonna fall with that, because like where I am, it's still learning about the world and kind of getting your bearings. So I have no idea if I'm going to like where it goes or not. I hope I do. Like I am planning on continuing it. I'm not going to DNF it as of right now. I haven't had the motivation to pick it up at all because I'm just so scared of it. But hopefully this week I'll read more of it. I have fully given up the idea that I'll have that done for Tome Topple. It's not gonna happen. I picked up The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, and I was freaking loving that. It was so good. I was about 25% of the way through or so, but then Scribd, love them, took it off with no warning. I was reading it in the morning, and then I went to pick it back up in the evening. Like it was literally just a few hours and it was gone. And I was so mad. I was absolutely adoring it. Like I definitely would have flown through that, because that 25% I read in one sitting because it was so good. And it was the audiobook, and I loved the narrator, and like the characters are hilarious. Like I love, what's his name? Dr. Chef, I think. Like what? Like all of them are just so funny, and it was really, really good, and I want to read it, but I can't because Scribd took it off, and my library doesn't have it on their ebook app, and I'm mad because I was really enjoying it. And then finally, the last book that I have to talk about is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. As you can see, I started it. I was reading this last night. I got to page 63, and I DNF'd it. Yeah, I do not like this book. Maybe it gets better. I don't know, and I will never find out. In books, I don't mind when characters are problematic in certain contexts, if they're like murderers or thieves or like the bad kind of pirate, like, or just like shit disturbers, you know, like if they're just like catty assholes who just want to cause problems because it's fun. That's great. I love reading about that. I think it's really interesting because like it's fiction and nobody's actually getting hurt. And I think like with problematic characters, I think as long as the reader and the author are aware that this character is problematic, that's fine. I don't mind reading that. I think it's really fun. It like adds something different to a story, because like we don't really see that too often. It's always these like goody main characters who you want to root for. So I really enjoy reading characters who are a bit different, who like you maybe don't want to root for because they're assholes. I love that. It's different from what we're used to. But like there are certain kinds of problematic that I don't want to read about, and one of that is homophobia. And like the scene that really made me not want to read this anymore was Richard, the main character, and Bunny going out to lunch, and they walk into the restaurant and Bunny says some extremely homophobic bullshit about the waiters, and like Richard just kind of goes along with it. He's like in his head not agreeing with what he's saying, but like he doesn't tell him to stop. And I'm like, what? Because that kind of thing, yes, like that conversation was fictional, but it's a conversation that happens in real life all the time. The slurs that Bunny was using, like I've had that used against me before, and you know, it's used against people every single day. and that kind of thing. Like, I don't like reading about it. Like, yes, it's fiction, it's not a real conversation, but like, it is a real conversation, and I don't like reading about it. Like, it just makes me, it just leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth, and I just don't want to read about it. It was basically after that where I'm like, because like beforehand, I knew that all of these characters were unlikable. They were a bunch of just pretentious, spoiled rich kids who were just privileged as fuck and annoying jackasses. Like, I did not like a single one of them, which I know you're not supposed to like them. I know that they're meant to be these like jackass kids. I wouldn't have minded that if the main character didn't want to be their friend so much, to the point that he's lying about who he is just to fit in with them. And I'm like, why would you want to like not only be their friend but also be like them? You know, like, I don't understand the motivations behind the main character. There was just no logic behind it for me, and that made me like not want to read it, because I don't get it. I don't understand why anybody would want to be friends with them, because they're shitty people, all of them. From what I could tell, like, Henry seems okay, but he's also a jackass at this point in the story. So I'm like, why do you want to be their friend? And like reading reviews for it on Goodreads, so many people are like, oh, I wish I had this friend group. I'm like, why do you want to be their friend? They're assholes. Like, what the fuck? I don't get it. I'm not going to get it. And so I'm not gonna read this. I don't like it. Like, the writing style is gorgeous. It's so beautiful, and like the plot's really interesting and all this stuff, but like if I can't get behind the motivations of the main character, if the logic is not there for me, I'm not going to want to read it. I would have been able to get past the fact that they're all extremely unlikable characters if I was able to understand the main character more, but I don't, and so I'm not going to like this book. So I'm DNFing it. I'm probably also going to unhaul it, because like, I don't really want to keep this. Like, I want my bookshelves to show what I like and the kind of books that I enjoy reading, and this is not one of them. So I'm probably going to unhaul it, and I'm sad about it. So, and then I also tried reading Steel Crow Saga by Paul Krueger last night. This was like right after DNFing The Secret History, so I was kind of bummed out. Probably wasn't the best time to pick it up, but I read the first like 3 pages. I was just like, not feeling this right now. I think I will want to read it at some point, just not right now, which means that like, that's all of my books for Tome Topple. And I've only got through one of them. So I still have like, I think 5 days for Tome Topple. So I'm going to pick up something else. It might be Chain of Gold. I might pick up Layer of Dreams. Not really sure. But I am going to try to get through one more book for Tome Topple if I can. That would be great. But it's not going to be any of the ones that I thought I was going to read. Maybe I'll just pick up Chain of Gold, because like, reading that book made me really excited to read Chain of Gold, and like, I should probably read it while I'm not dreading it, because I have been dreading it since the day that it was announced. But right now I'm actually looking forward to it, so I might pick that up for this week. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll just stop at one book for Tome Topple and just read whatever I feel like instead. We'll see what happens. But that's all for today, so I'm gonna get started on bringing in my bookshelves and the like million boxes of books that I have to bring in. And maybe I'll start an audiobook while I'm doing that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So that'll be it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!